Hilton Scott Talks. How not to forget your bike lock. It's a simple thing. Here it's attached, but it's not my main bike lock because I don't find it long enough to fit around all the racks I run into. Maybe a tree or a light pole that I could, or a flag pole I could attach to. I've got my 4.25 inch indicator combination lock in here. Does a wonderful job, and it's in the bag. Now, I watched a video on YouTube one time of somebody talking about, oh, what do you do when you get somewhere and you forgot your lock? And I'm like, what? What? Forgot your lock? You know, attach the lock to the bike. You get a second bike, you get a second lock. Duh. That's what I've got. My Townie here has 2 locks to distract thieves. They're bright orange, so you can see them from a distance. They'll walk away before they get too close. And this is great. I can attach it to some things. I could get the frame where you want to protect the frame first. I could attach this to a frame. I used to do it at Target all the time. But occasionally, if you want to protect the front wheel and the frame together and a rack, you can do that with the long chain. That helps out. I even got a little helmet lock. And you know, guys, if you've heard my videos, the green helmet's not my favorite. Kind of got stuck with it. And the back kind of came loose, and the guy at the shop was like, why don't you just glue it in? And okay, I'll glue it in. And it worked. That worked. That little piece was hanging out in the back, and I'd stick it in there. And there's a way to twist it and get it to click in. And then in a week, it would unclick itself and be loose again. So I glued it, little Elmer's. It did fine. I had a big clamp. It did good. So anyway, if you have even the slightest doubt you're going to forget your lock on an important ride, if you're not a cyclist that doesn't use locks, see, those group ride people don't use locks. They ride their $10,000 bikes, and somebody watches it. You know, you got a bunch of people there. Someone watches the bikes while you go to the bathroom, while you get your coffee, while you get your little snack, a cake, or whatever you're getting. They watch it. It's no big deal. But when you're by yourself riding, you know, you get somewhere, you got to lock up. And you want it to be somewhat secure and hope for the best, because they can get in any of these locks. I mean, they can, angle grinder will cut through almost everything. A D-lock is wonderful. If you can get a D-lock here instead of the full D-lock, that's even highly more recommended. But again, it's the limit of space. If you got a flagpole you got to attach to, you're like, oh, they don't have bike racks here. You know, you're looking around, or they got crappy bike racks with the bolts. And you've seen me on some of my other videos. I put Elmer's glue on those bolts, so those suckers, they're not coming off. You know, and I proved my point. A week after I did the one at Publix, it was all bent up on one of the bolts where someone tried to get that bolt off and get to that bike or scooter or whatever was there. And I was like, well, there you go. You know, that's my proof. Those crappy little bike racks need a little touch up. If you're going to put your bike on, otherwise, I use that rack where the shopping carts go. They're in the ground. They concrete those in. Those crappy little bolts, they don't hold anything. You get a little wrench. Anyone can get a wrench or a pair of pliers and go take the whole rack off. Just all you got to do is pull a screw out and pull your chain out from the bar that's now loose, and you've got yourself a bike, and you walk away with it. And you know, homeless people, for them, it's just an opportunity. If they're walking around asking for money, and a bike would be really helpful. In a video I saw, they were trying to track with an Apple AirTag where'd the bike go, and they couldn't find it. They left it out on purpose, and they couldn't find it for 3 or 4 days because a homeless person took it, and they took it to the place where they stay, and people didn't have iPhones there, of course, because you have to have an iPhone nearby to get it to connect. And finally, after a while, someone must have walked over and gave him some money or something. Someone with an iPhone came close enough to it that it registered. So he went and checked it out, and sure enough, there, he found his bike. And that's, you know, that's just how it is. You know, you can leave a little air tag on your bike if you want to, or a tile, or whatever little tracking thing you've got, and hope for the best. A lot of people say, well, what are you going to do after that? Tell the police? Are they going to go after it? They're busy. Are you going to go get it? Are you going to get shot doing it? You know, it depends on where it is. If it's some homeless person, you just walk up to it and take it back and say, hey, and maybe take some friends with you. But, I mean, it's good to have a trashy bike to park for long periods of time somewhere. One that, you know, you got at the Goodwill, you just ride it here or there and you can leave it. I've seen bikes, I go to the stores, I've seen people where they just pop the kickstand, leaning against the wall, whatever, and that's it. You know, cyclists, they don't see a cargo bike. I got a kickstand because that thing, I'm getting milk today, so this is gonna be heavy. You need a kickstand for cargo biking and carrying stuff for work and things. But for riding cyclists, that's just more weight, man. They don't ever have kickstands. And they don't ever carry heavy locks. They'll carry water bottles. They'll have 2 water bottles, and they'll drink about 1 bottle per hour on their ride and take a little protein snacks. And those shirts, the cyclists, the skin tight shirts you're wondering about, it keeps, you know, see here, the wind catches me like a sail and can slow me up. I'll be like, especially with the winds coming at you and you're trying to push against the wind. That'll slow you up. So cyclists have that skin tight thing on so the air will go around. And then they have 3 pockets usually in the back. They can put their phone, some tools, a snack. They know exactly which pocket's which, and they just reach around, get their phone, reach around, grab a snack, eat some protein, keep going, grab some water. Usually they have the little pop tops that, and put it back, boom, gone. So yeah, I mean, you know, I met a guy that had 12 bikes. He was talking about it. He was in our neighborhood working on something, and he liked the bike, and he was like, yeah, I've got 12 at home. I was like, 12? Now I could see him not having 12 locks. I can see it. I mean, if you spend all that money on the bikes, and he probably just rides around, he group rides, a lot of group rides. He probably only has 1 or 2 that he would go to a store or do something like that, or ride with family that he might want to lock up. But, you know, you guys do you. You know, wrap that lock around the seat, keep it from falling, you know, have your little bag there can help hold that if you have one of those. You know, wherever you can wrap it. Some people, I've seen people in videos with it around their neck like a chain, like a big chain, just ride. I like my chain lock. I like it's covered, you know, it's got the cloth on it and stuff like that. And I like my foldy lock. It when it does the job, when I can actually hook it to something, it's great. The first thing you want to protect is the frame. The second most expensive thing is that back wheel with all those gears on it. Next is the front wheel. You got your brakes and things. Some people have fancy handlebars that get stolen. This could go, this could go, this could go. All this could go. Fancy seats, they can get expensive. They might take that. You know, come by and flip this and pull my seat out one day. I have to get another seat. I'll get another seat. You know, okay. I'm not going overboard with all the locks. You know, because you can get the flip lock. Is great for access, and you put it in the car. You just pop it and take it out and throw it in the back car and go ride somewhere. And that's great. There's one here in the back. But it's also a good way to get your tire stolen. And they recommend, you know, using the fancier, has a special key. Of course, somebody that was out looking to steal you would have that key. You know, they'd have the access to those keys or know the workarounds to get it. You know, a homeless person would just take the tire off and take it to the pawn shop and say, I got a bike tire. How much do I get for that? You know, and that would be it. So, not to say anything bad with the homeless people. You know, I've given them money before. I've had people accuse me of being homeless on this bike. I mean, look at it. Never thought about it before until they you know, I met a homeless lady and I gave her $1 and she goes, oh, I don't take money from other homeless people. And I was like, what? And I looked at it and I was like, could be. Got the milk crate on the back. I might be able to have a little trailer with a dog on the back. You know, I've seen that. Oh, well. Okay, so don't organize your locks the way you want, but, you know, and then cable locks are very easy to cut. Those long, skinny cables. I've got 2 at home. but I don't use them anymore. But they were neat. You could wrap around almost anything. You get a long enough cable, you just wrap around anything. And if you have a junky bike, that's great. Just put the cable on it, and if something happens, you go back to Goodwill, or you go on Facebook Marketplace and buy another one. Or you put a tracker in it and you try to track it down. But there's nothing wrong with cable locks and a little padlock on it or something like that, or key lock or something. I've got my keys with me. They're in this little bag with a Toss wallet that has no credit cards in it. I've got the phone, I got my watch, I can credit card with that. I can use apps on phones. At Walmart app for the Walmart Marketplace I'm going to, could do that. I want to get a snack, I can do the Burger King. The Toss wallet has a little bit of cash in it. I get somewhere and the app's down, Wi-Fi's bad, I can pay cash. I can pay a little cash. That's all right, but to get it losing a credit card, jeez. You gotta cancel it, you gotta hope someone has to start using it. And don't bring your ATM card, your bank card. Bank cards aren't secure. The banks will tell you, oh, you lost it? Oh, sorry. Looks like someone charged $5,000 on this. No, sorry. But Visa and MasterCard, they'll help you. So hopefully it's a Visa bank card. But the 24 card, ATM card, no, don't use that in public. Don't take that around on your bike or something like that. Keep it secure. Keep it in your front pocket wallet. You got a front pocket wallet? Keep it secure. I got an ATM card on my watch and in my phone so I can get cash out with the watch and phone. You ever tried that? Google how to do that, or YouTube how to do that. First you add it to the phone. That's the trick. And then from there you go to the watch, Apple Watch is what I got. And then under your watch app, you add apps or take them out or cards like that. And you can just, once it's on the phone, you can add it to the watch. And then you click to bring up the credit card, the Apple card, but then you can swipe up and down to get other cards. And you bring up your bank card and you tap it on the little thing and you put your code in and get your money out. And usually it works. If it doesn't, tap it with the phone. The phone's got a little more better processors and can push it through better. So I've rambled enough. I've talked. That's what the website's called. Scott Talks, I Talk. And you guys get to hear stories. Have a wonderful day. The like and subscribe deal. Read the descriptions. Sometimes I add little notes and descriptions to some of my videos. Sometimes I update the descriptions. Never know. And check my other playlist out. There might be something there you're interested in. Have a great one. It's June the 4th, Wednesday, 2025. About 74 degrees here in Ocala, Florida. Bye.